Hey, welcome to my channel. For years, I didn't just have anxiety. I became anxiety. It controlled everything. The way I thought, how I acted, how I lived my life, how I socialized, how I worked, and most importantly, how I saw myself. Today, I want to talk about that critical moment when anxiety stops being just a symptom and becomes your entire identity. But more than that, I want to show you how you can break free from that and get your life back. It's a slow, sneaky process, the way anxiety takes over your identity. At first, it's just a feeling. You might say to yourself, I'm feeling anxious right now. But as it lingers, it morphs into something more permanent. That phrase becomes, I'm an anxious person. Before you know it, it solidifies into a core belief. This is just who I am. And once anxiety becomes a part of your identity, everything shifts. You start avoiding things you once loved, whether it's a hobby, a place, or a group of friends. You might notice you speak differently, maybe more hesitantly, or you move differently, perhaps more cautiously. Your thinking becomes rooted in fear, and you start assuming danger is lurking around every corner. You begin to shrink yourself, making your world smaller and smaller, one anxious thought at a time. It's a quiet takeover, but the impact is enormous. So, why does this even happen? Well, when anxiety sticks around for a long time, our nervous system essentially gets rewired. It adapts to living in a constant state of survival mode, and being in survival mode for an extended period fundamentally changes your identity. Your brain starts to internalize the problem. Instead of seeing anxiety as an external force affecting you, it begins to think, who I am must be the problem. It's not the anxiety. It's me, and honestly, that's the most painful part of it all. You end up taking personal responsibility for a disorder you never asked for and certainly didn't choose. For me, this became an automatic script running in my head. I'd tell myself, I'm just shy, I'm awkward, I'm socially anxious, I'm broken, or I'm not capable of that. None of these statements were actually true about who I was at my core, but the persistent voice of anxiety made them feel like undeniable facts. This process is often amplified if you had a difficult childhood. If you grew up feeling scared, unseen, unheard, or unsupported, your identity naturally forms around survival, not confidence. If you were emotionally overwhelmed and your needs for comfort were ignored, you learned to adapt. You learn lessons like, I have to stay small to be safe, I must stay on high alert, and I need to avoid risk at all costs. These survival strategies, born out of necessity, can easily become what feel like permanent personality traits. But here's the thing, they were never meant to define your entire life as an adult. They were coping mechanisms for a specific time and place, not a life sentence. Recognizing this is a huge step toward understanding why you might feel the way you do today. I know this from personal experience. My panic disorder didn't just affect my days. It completely shaped who I thought I was. I built a whole identity around my limitations. I genuinely believed I can't travel. I can't be around people for too long. I can't live a normal life. I was convinced I couldn't handle fear and that I could never feel confident without some kind of crutch. This collapse of my identity is what almost made me give up entirely. I felt like the real me was gone for good. The turning point, the beginning of my recovery, happened when I had a profound realization. It was a simple but massive shift in perspective. I wasn't an anxious person. I was a human being having anxious experiences. That distinction made all the difference. It gave me back a sense of self, separate from the disorder. So, how do you break free from this anxiety identity? How do you unlearn this programming? First, you need to actively separate who you are from what you feel. You are not your anxiety. You are the person experiencing a state of anxiety. It's a feeling, not your essence. A practical way to do this is to change your language. Stop saying I am anxious. Instead, try saying my body is having an anxiety response. This small change helps rewire your brain to see anxiety as a temporary physical event, not a permanent part of you. Next, start bringing back pieces of your old self. Think about the hobbies, personality traits, and interests you had before anxiety took center stage. They're still there, just buried beneath the fear. Reintroduce them, even in small ways. At the same time, focus on building micro-confidence every single day. This means taking tiny, brave actions that push your comfort zone just a little. These small wins accumulate and create powerful identity shifts over time. Finally, and this is crucial, work on rebuilding safety within your nervous system. A body that feels safe and regulated allows for a new, more authentic identity to emerge, one built on strength, not fear. And remember this, you are not your anxiety. You are the person who has survived it, day after day. And that identity, the identity of a survivor, is far stronger and more resilient than the fear ever was. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Take care.